Continue reading Brahma Samhita 5.44. Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadhava Saktir Eka Chayeva Yasya Bhuvanani Vibharti Durga Ichhanurupam Api Yasya Chachestatesa Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. The external potency Maya, who is of the nature of the shadow of the Chit potency, is worshipped by all people as Durga, the creating, preserving and destroying agency of this mundane world. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, in accordance with whose will Durga conducts herself. The aforesaid presiding deity of Devi Dham is being described, the world in which Brahma takes his stand and hymns the Lord of Goloka is Devi Dham, consisting of the 14 worlds, and Durga is its presiding deity. She is 10-armed, representing the tenfold fruitive activities. She rides on the lion, representing her heroic prowess. She tramples down Mahisasura, representing the subduer of vices. She is the mother of two sons, Kartikya and Ganesh, representing beauty and success. She is placed between Lakshmi and Saraswati, representing mundane opulence and mundane knowledge. She is armed with the 20 weapons, representing the various pious activities enjoined by the Vedas for suppression of vices. She holds the snake, representing the beauty of destructive time. Such is Durga, possessing all these manifold forms. Durga is possessed of Durga, which means a prison house. When jivas, begotten of the marginal potency Tathastha Shakti, forget the service of Krishna, they are confined in the mundane prison house. The citadel of Durga, the wheel of karma, is the instrument of punishment at this place. The work of purifying these penalized jivas is the duty developed upon Durga. She is incessantly engaged in discharging the same by the will of Govinda. When luckily the forgetfulness of Govinda on the part of imprisoned jivas is remarked by them by coming in contact with self-realized souls, and their natural aptitude for the loving service of Krishna is aroused, and Durga herself then becomes the agency of their deliverance by the will of Govinda. So it behooves everybody to obtain the guileless grace of Durga, the mistress of this prison house, by propitiating her with this selfless service of Krishna. The boons received from Durga in the shape of wealth, property, recovery from illness, or wife and sons should be realized as the deluding kindness of Durga. The mundane psychical jubilations of Das Mahavidya, the 10 goddesses or forms of Durga, are elaborated for the delusion of the fettered souls of this world. Jiva is a spiritual atomic part of Krishna. When he forgets his service of Krishna, he is at once deflected by the attractive power of Maya in this world, who throws him into the whirlpool of mundane fruitive activity karma by confining him in a gross body constituted by the 5 material elements, their 5 attributes and 11 senses, resembling the garb of a prisoner. In this whirlpool, Jiva has experienced a happiness and miseries, heaven and hell. Besides this, there is a subtle body consisting of the mind, intelligence and ego. Inside the gross body, by means of the subtle body, the jiva forsakes one gross body and takes recourse to another. The jiva cannot get rid of the subtle body, full of nescience and evil desires, unless and until he is liberated. On getting rid of the subtle body, he bathes in the Viraja and goes up to Haridham. Such are the duties performed by Durga in accordance with the will of Govinda. In the Bhagavata Sloka Vilajamanaya Durdiya, the relationship between Durga and the conditioned souls have been described. Durga worshipped by the people of this mundane world is the Durga described above. But the spiritual Durga mentioned in the mantra, which is the outer covering of the spiritual realm of the Supreme Lord, is the eternal maidservant of Krishna and is therefore the transcendental reality whose shadow, the Durga of this material world, functions in this mundane world as her maidservant. Vid the purport of Sloka 3. Shiram yatha dadi vikara vishesha yogat संजायते नाही तथा पृथक अस्ति हेतो या संभूताम अपि तथा समुपायति कार्यत गोविंदमादि पुरुषं तमहं भजामि. Just as milk is transformed into curd by the action of acids, but yet the effect curd is neither same as nor different from its cause, viz. Milk, so I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, of whom the state of Sambhu is a transformation for the performance of the work of destruction. The real nature of Sambhu, the presiding deity of Mahesh Dham, is described. Sambhu is not a second Godhead other than Krishna. Those who entertain such discriminating sentiment commit a great offense against the Supreme Lord. The supremacy of Sambhu is subservient to that of Govinda, hence they are not really different from each other. The non-distinction is established by the fact that just as milk treated with acid turns into curd, so Godhead becomes a subservient when he himself attains a distinct personality by the addition of a particular element of adulteration. This personality has no independent initiative. These said adulterating principle is constituted of a combination of the stupefying quality of the deluding energy, the quality of non-plenitude of the marginal potency, and a slight degree of the ecstatic cognitive principle of the plenary spiritual potency. This specifically adulterated reflection of the principle of the subjective portion of the divinity is Sadasiva, in the form of the effulgent masculine symbol God Sambhu, from whom Rudradev is manifested. In the work of mundane creation as the material cause, in the work of preservation by the destruction of sundry asuras, and in the work of destruction to conduct the whole operation, Govinda manifests himself as Guna Avatar in the form of Sambhu, who is the separated portion of Govinda imbued with the principle of his subjective plenary portion. The personality of the destructive principle in the form of time has been identified with that of Sambhu by scriptural evidences that have been adduced in the commentary. The purport of the Bhagavati slokas, viz. Vaishnavanam, Yatha Sambhu, etc., is that Sambhu, in pursuance of the will of Govinda, works in union with his consort Durga Devi by his own time energy. He teaches pious duties, dharma, as stepping stones to the attainment of spiritual service in the various tantra sastras, etc., suitable for jivas in different grades of the conditional existence. In obedience to the will of Govinda, Sambhu maintains and fosters the religion of pure devotion by preaching the cult of illusionism, Mayavada, and the speculative Agama Sastras. The 50 attributes of individual souls are manifest in a far vaster measure in Sambhu, and 5 additional attributes not attainable by jivas are also partly found in him. So Sambhu cannot be called a jiva. He is the Lord of jiva, but yet partakes of the nature of separated portion of Govinda.